That might be important for
I'm not gonna advocate myself in success, but I'm not gonna say no.
You're chair now?
So there's already more couples out there for you.
We're starting in like a minute.
Like some adult coloring book there. I also have Pokemon. I have this one is just a general one, and then I've got a bunch
The
of
lowest part.
This is further.
You want the pretty
What we are. We're engineers.
Pretty butterfly, more pretty butterfly. Oh, it's like an owl. I mean, that was the owl. I wasn't.
I kind of wonder if the rest of the senators know.
What happened to the line of succession?
I decided to skip over that.
Understood. Okay. So it's so valid. So something happened to Ava, Parker, and Hayden.
Hey,
And
don't
Bonnie.
kill me all.
You shouldn't be asking me about that.
In their stead, I've decided to take over.
Period. Have you already moved into the office?
Yes.
As you should.
What was your first piece of decoration you put up?
Well, now I gotta go take it now.
Are you saying that because she has a weapon?
What's with this chair?
It's the spare chair. The spare chair. Yeah, for when my chair breaks. Yep.
I need to get back in the moment. I might just go.
Where is everybody?
Wow, I got promoted. Oh, wow, I got promoted. Hey, but that's not my title, Morgan. Means I get a promotion. Like, hey, this year, I don't look bad, but I did. Me too, Morgan.
If anyone wants a coloring page and some coloring stuff, hit me up. I have some, so you can do some fun coloring to de-stress.
Sorry if you don't get to tell it. Yeah, so
All my,
there,
this is all my, I mean, my.
it's in the
That was gonna be just my. Yeah.
Sammy, are you using caucus abstract or?
Yeah, I see, I hear you.
Yes.
Oh, and now I have to be angry. Yeah, I want to focus on like three science that are like deadlocked at like 2030. I want to. He's so proud of me. I only have 20 seconds. So proud of me. So that means I never got to He's so proud The question is, you're like, you forgot. What goes it?
Hi all, sorry about the delayed start. I'm gonna assume it's the 7th session of the 53rd Senate. So we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. All who are willing and able, please stand. Ready? I.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is traditional and ancestral homes of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other native tribes. We recognize the indigenous people as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to the traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion. And significantly, that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. The acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. Next, we have swearing in of associate or senators. So if you're a new associate or senator or changing positions, please come up to the front now.
That's super cool.
Okay, you guys need to repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Sammy Trout. I,
You
Henry
solemn-
Daniel Ray. Just okay. Everyone.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
It's okay, we'll start over. I state your name.
I, Henry Daniel Ray.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
to defend and uphold
to defend and uphold
the rules and regulations
the rules and regulations
set forth by
set forth by
the Constitution of the Associated Students of Colorado State University,
the Constitution of the Associated Students of Colorado State University,
and will rightfully perform the duties
and will rightfully perform the duties
of my office
of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
You all may now his seats. Now, if you'd like, while we're doing roll call, I guess we'll go grab some film placards. May the clerk call the roll?
Alrighty, Senator Bakari. Chair Kelly.
Here.
Senator
Senator Van Tassel. Senator Barrett.
Here.
Associate Senator Litz. Senator Cole Johnson.
Here.
Senator Winston. Senator Tabib. Senator Eady. Senator Wilson.
Here.
Chair Oslon. Here. Chair Menanti.
Here.
Senator Kirk. Senator Hill.
Present.
Senator Stoney. Senator Schumer. Senator Chacon.
Present.
Senator Snyder. Chair Taylor.
Here.
Senator McAllister Johnson.
Oh, they're on Zoom.
Here.
Present.
Senator Davis. Here. Senator Fiskey. Here. Senator Levy.
Here.
Senator Reese. Here. Associate Senator Rivera.
Here.
Senator Barron. Associate Senator Camber. Present. Senator Lisser.
Here.
Associate Senator Alvarez. Associate Senator Halverson. Senator Pickerel.
Here.
Associate Senator Yankowski. Senator Buckner. Senator Lancey.
Here.
Associate Senator Ozor.
Here.
Associate Senator Leggett. Associate Senator Miller. Here. Associate Senator Myers. Associate Senator Byrd. Senator Huizenga. Here. Senator Brown.
Here.
Senator Desmara.
Here.
Senator Vaughn.
Here.
And if there's any names I didn't call, please raise your hand. Thank you. Next, we have consent agenda. Is there any dissent to this agenda? Seeing none, we move on to gallery input. Is there anyone from the gallery who wishes to speak at this time? Seeing none, we will get into the guest speaker, which is just parliamentary training and bill writing, which is Parker's presentation.
Sure. So I was not actually expecting that at the beginning when I made this to actually present and send it like this. I was expecting it to be before Senate, but here we are. So here is introduction to parliamentary procedure. So what is parliamentary procedure? In general, it's basically just the agreed upon rules that we all follow here in order to ensure that our meetings and discussion remains timely and to the point. It's really all that is to it. At ASCSU, we are running on a system that mainly uses Robert's Rules of Order with a mixing of Martha's Rules of Order, along with just a bit of ASCSU rules that we've added in because it makes more sense to use certain rules. So let's begin by discussing what is the speakers list. So the speakers list is basically just a list created by our speaker where we have anyone who raises their hand or makes anyone who raises their hand or a placard be added to the list where they can speak for 5 minutes. If you finish your speaking time, you can then be added again to the secondary speakers list, which is basically the exact same thing, except it's 3 minutes you have to speak. After, yeah. So there are 3 points of order. Those are points of information, which is where you can give a point of information and be like, hey, this is actually how it's supposed to go, or can you please explain to me something that you just said? There is point of order. That's where if a piece of parliamentary procedure is not being held, like if we forgot to do a Q&A session that we were supposed to have, you could go and say, I have a point of order, and mention that we needed to have a Q&A. The third point of order is a point of privilege or personal privilege, and that is used to request an accommodation in the space, such as making text bigger, changing font color, something like that. Next. So voting. All senators and associate senators can vote on parliamentary procedure. That's basically anything we do in this space, from how do we vote to if we should go and discuss X or Y. However, only senators can vote on the passing of legislation, such as if Senate prefers birds over cats as their favorite animal. A senator seat that is absent or vacant is able to be voted on by an associate senator. So for instance, in the College of Engineering, we have 3 senator seats, but none are filled. So an associate senator for the College of Engineering could vote in the place of a senator. Or if, say, a senator is sick, their associate senator could vote for them. Next. So types of voting. We have a lot of types of voting in Senate. The first is roll call. That is the default method of voting on bills, although we don't typically use it because it takes forever. What this basically is we have the clerk take the roll, and instead of responding with yes, I'm here, you would respond with your vote, either yay, nay, abstain, that sort of thing. The next is placard. If in this type of vote, the speaker would say, do you agree? Do you disagree with something? And you'd raise your placard for whichever one you believe in. The next is voice vote, where you basically will just say aye or nay when called. Pretty simple. Next is a secret ballot. And this the speaker will pass out a piece of paper to every member in the space. You'll write down what you're voting for on that. We typically have listed on the big screens who are your options, make it easy. Those votes are then collected and tabulated by us up here. The final vote is a sense vote. In this situation, you basically will have members ask, are you comfortable with what's going on? Do you agree with what's going on? And finally, do you have an issue with what's going on? If the first 2 categories get the most vote, then we just end discussion and debate and move straight on to voting. Next. So common motions in ASCSU are previous question that basically requires 2/3 of the Senate to agree on. And if it happens, we just skip the discussion of debate or question and answer. The next is exhausting the speakers list. This requires a majority vote, so 51%. And it is passed to prevent anyone else from being added onto the speakers list. This is basically if discussion is going nowhere and time is just taking too much time. The next next common motion is to postpone. This basically means that if we don't have enough information to really discuss or get in detail on a piece of legislation or a motion, we can move it to another date in which we will have that information. The final common motion is the table. In this situation, we would say we really need to discuss this piece of legislation, such as maybe our bylaws or a change to the Constitution. So let's go and put that first and put away any other pieces of legislation or things that we need to discuss for later. And that's passed by majority vote. Is there any questions on parliamentary procedure? Yes.
What's the difference between tabling and postponing?
Okay, so tabling, the difference basically comes from how they are reacted to after it has happened. When you table something, you just move it to the back of the agenda. Whereas when you postpone, you can set a specific date. So you could say our next meeting or 2 meetings after that, you can set a specific time. If after you table something, if you finish whatever your legislation is, you can then bring it back to the table and then you would discuss it. But if it is not brought back from the table by the end of the meeting is just considered canceled, and we just don't discuss that piece of legislation unless it is re-brought up again at a later date.
Going back to the difference between point of order and point of personal privilege, because accommodations are a bill and policy, would that not be considered point of order, not point of personal privilege? Especially considering
So-
federal law.
I would say that it depends on the accommodation. If the accommodation is something such as people are on the line are not able to see the Zoom or aren't able to see the screen, you're right, that would definitely be a point of order. But when it's something like make text bigger, we don't really have a rule for that. So it would just be, I can't see 32-point font, let's make it 38 or something. Yep. Any other questions?
How do you make it known that you're voting on behalf of the associate that's absent?
So in order to do that, you would basically just go and say when you're making a vote, hi, I'm an associate senator for whatever college, and I'm making this vote on behalf of an absent senator. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, then moving on into how to write legislation, because this is a two-parter. So the first part is accessing the template so you don't have to do the entire writing yourself. If you go onto our ASCSU website to the Senate sec, or just to the ASCSU website, you can go to resources, click on ASCSU documents, and then finally click on the 53rd legislative template, which was recently updated. And that will get you to a basic template where you can see just what is actually needed to write a bill. So let's talk about what different types of bills we have in this space. The first is a bill. That's basically our most general, and it deals with any sort of action that you want to take in this space, such as changing funds from one location to another, funding an event, extending or creating a new caucus or committee, stuff like that. A resolution deals with the opinions of the Senate, such as if we wanted to elect a Senate mascot, we would say we would make a resolution saying our mascot should be Big Bird or whatever. The final piece of legislation is a lex, and this is rarely used, but it's basically when you want to combine a resolution and a bill, or when you're making an edit to the Constitution. Which reminds me that resolutions are also used when updating our Senate bylaws. So, in order to get a bill on the floor, it requires one of these following groups. I say groups, they're not all groups, to endorse or sponsor your bill, such as 6 senators, associate senators, or members that are ex officio, 1 ASCSU committee, the Board for Student Organization Funding, the Student Peer Review Board, or the Legislative Strategy Advisory Board, or the Legislative Cabinet according to their bylaws. There's another way, and that's for bills that are not written by ASCSU members, but are by members of the public. If they receive, I believe, 100 signatures from other students, they can also add a bill to this list. Yeah, I guess we'll answer questions now. No, it's fine.
It's just, if it's someone written by, like, from the public.
Yeah.
Could we as a senator sign it as another member of the public, or does that?
You could do either or. If you wanted to endorse it as a senator, it would still work for the 6. Otherwise, you could have it be by the public. The idea behind the rule that it would require 100 signatures is in case that they don't have access to communicate with us, or just it's a very popular idea that for some reason senators aren't listening to. Any other questions?
So they could use the other routes. That's not the only route
Yes.
that any student could use. Okay.
That it is not the only route, it's just a route. Okay, so whereas clauses. The very first thing that you're going to see when you're writing a bill is whereas clauses. These are basically your justification for your bill. Why are you writing it? What is the goal that you're trying to accomplish by writing this bill? In this, you should definitely make sure that all the terms you're using should be easily defined and accessible, because not everyone knows what you know. So just making sure that everyone knows what's going on, what all the acronyms mean, is very useful. The second part is if you, the author, are not there, does your whereas clauses explain why that bill should be passed? If not, you might want to think about rewriting your whereas clauses to make sure that happens, just so that way when people read it on the weekly email, they're like, I agree with this bill. So therefore clauses are what should be taken. These should be short and to the point, because you don't want someone to go and read a therefore clause and just get an entirely different idea on what you thought it said and make that action instead, make the wrong action. So just make it as clear and to the point as you can. And any questions? Anyone? Yes.
About how long is a bill usually? Like how many pages?
They vary. I've written bills that are less than a paragraph, basically, and I've seen bills that are like 3 pages. So it's really just however you feel it should be to get your point across. Yes.
For folks who are interested in writing bills with a financial element, who would be the best folks in ASCSU to go to in terms of knowing what our budget looks like?
So that would definitely be our budgetary affairs chair, who is in charge of budgetary affairs committee.
Also, really quickly, can we check to see if there's any questions on Zoom?
Okay, that ends. Oh wait, yes.
Is there a way to access previous bills to see how others have been formatted?
Yes. So I'm currently working on getting up the permissions to get this updated, because during COVID, we lost a lot of access to our websites. So hopefully in the next few weeks, I should get access to that, but can you go back like all the way to the beginning of this part? No, wait, forward. Here we go. So if you go to resources, there are some in this legislation book, although it's not very in detail. Your best bet is to actually go and click resources, and you should find ASCSU records website. And that's where you'll find some bills. Like I said, it hasn't really been updated in 6 years. So you'll find bills for like the 56th, 7th, and maybe 9th if you're lucky. But I am working on getting those permissions, and so that should be updated hopefully soon.
Can I add a couple other things? Oops, sorry. You go first.
We also keep physical records, so all in me and Claudia's office. If you walk in, there's this like overhang right here. In that, if you open it up, has binders dating back from like, this is the 53rd, so probably around 48, 47, probably a little bit earlier. And a lot of those will also show you, and you can see all the previous bills written as well.
And then one more place for more like super recent legislation. On the main Senate part of the website, you can view bills from last year. That's where we picked up, like last year's when we especially picked up a new formatting style. So you might see some older, like older formatting style, and then some of the newer formatting style. So that would be a good place for more recent stuff. But based off like what you're looking for, there's bills for like everything, subcommittees, funding for different projects, statements on things, et cetera, et cetera.
Random question about all of this. Is there a place to see all of the archives of Senate?
Only one would be ASCSU records website, and it does not go back entirely. I think the earliest is 44th session, 42nd maybe.
The only other way would be through my U drive, but that's something you have to be with me to do, because I have files dating all the way back from the first Senate, but I couldn't tell you what was in that file, then opened it up. But I do have those files. You would just need to catch me when I'm in the office.
Yes.
If you're making legislation that amends or changes documents that already exist, is there a specific format for like how changes to an existing document should be laid out in legislation?
So that would be a bill still, and you would keep it basically the same whereas clauses, therefore clauses. Just in your whereas clauses, you would mention the bill that you want to change, and then in your therefore clause, you would say what changes you want to make to that. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay.
I don't remember. I was thinking, alrighty, I think we're gonna move on. I think next is executive reports. So I'll wait for the executive branch if anyone would like to speak, to come to the front.
Alrighty, my staff is slow in getting down here today, so I will start us off. If I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, my name is Braxton Dees. I'm the chief staff here with ASCSU. Hope you all are doing well tonight. First thing I will mention tonight is ASCSU is starting a invite dinner series. We're going to do a dinner each month with a different campus or community partner. So October, we're going to be doing RSO leaders. That'll be on October 26th, 6 to 7 p.m. in the long speak room, and there will be dinner. I'll pass out a little flyer with the QR code. I'd love to see as many of you there so that we can get RSO leaders connected to every facet of ASCSU so that they know who to go to, where to go to when they want things done for their RSOs and RSOs like them on campus. Next month, we're toying around with the idea of a few other campus partners. We may also do the Chamber of Commerce in Fort Collins Chamber of Commerce in January. So keep posted on that. I would love to see as many of you as possible at those. I'll let her talk about Cancer on the Oval. I had to sign a Genius for y'all for that, but okay, perfect. Fall cleanup on behalf of our business and community liaison, Izzy. This occurs in November, is run through the Office of Off-Campus Life. ASCSU is signed up as an organization, but we need volunteers within that sign up. So I'll pass around the QR code for that as well. Excellent way to get back to the community, get into the community, let the community know that we are here and we are here to serve. Looks like all the other departments that I would have pointed out are here already, and we'll give you all updates as we go. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Let's turn it on.
Hi, everyone. Just as a reminder, my name is Alejandra. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm the ASCSU Deputy Director of Health. I just wanted to let y'all know that ASCSU is registered as a team for Cans Around the Oval. If you don't know what Cans Around the Oval is, it's essentially a big food drive that CSU puts on every year to try and raise as much money and as much canned goods and non-perishable goods for the food bank of Larimer County as we can, considering they help support Rams Against Hunger and also help fund it. So yeah, I will go ahead and pass out these little flyers that have QR codes. So y'all can sign up and register as a part of ASCSU Cans Around the Oval team. Additionally, if you're interested in helping out with either volunteering with tabling or volunteering with construction next week, which is an event where we collect all the cans and then we build like structures out of the cans, similar to the one that's in front of the front desk. Please reach out to me personally. I have the ASCSU Deputy Director of Health email, or you can come up to me as well. So yeah, I'll go ahead and see that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hayden. I'm the Director of Environmental Affairs. I use she, her pronouns. Nice to see all of you. So here's some updates. We had our little cleanup on Sunday. Who remembers when I was talking about that? Maybe a little bit. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, so we did a big cleanup of Lee Martinez Park. We met up right behind the Daz Bog on Cherry Street and College. Okay, Cherry Street and College. And, only 16 people signed up, but 22 people showed up. And that's huge for a park cleanup, especially getting people to take time out of their weekends on a Sunday morning to come help pick up trash for 2 hours. So it was very successful. I got to meet a lot of really wonderful people, and it was in partnership with the Student Sustainability Center and the Zero Waste team, and we got a lot done. So definitely come in the spring when I'm going to do another one. From here on out, there's going to be a lot of leaves on the ground as well as snow, so it's going to be difficult to do that kind of thing. As far as like sustainability news on campus goes, so CSU is one of the most sustainable campuses in the United States, but we used to be the only one that was like platinum ranked by this certain ranking system, but now we're number 5. And that's because other very wealthy universities are like kind of pushing us out. But something that's really cool that's happening is the government of India is sending a delegation to the United States to talk about clean energy transitions. And the United States Trade Commission, one of those, selected 2 universities in the entire United States for them to come and visit and like have an example of sustainability. And CSU is one of them. So that's really wonderful. You all go to a really awesome campus. I think at one point I want to present to all of you about all the wonderful things that are going on campus in regard to sustainability. That's it. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Metal, and I'm the Director of Traditions with, I guess, ASCSU, like we all are. I had a quick question. So just to start us off, I wanted to know if you can just like hop around. What is your favorite tradition here at CSU, if anyone has anything? Yes, Sammy.
The drag show.
Yes, that is a good one. Okay, can I get like 2 more and then I'll move on with my report? I'm not gonna lie, there's not a lot of familiar faces here, and so I want to hear some new people who I don't know. Okay, I see you about to touch your mic. What are you about to say? Someone over here. No? Yes. No, you're good. For sure. That was a really good one. And if you don't already know, there's going to be the bonfire happening this Friday from 6 to 9 for Friday Night Lights. So definitely come out for that. And then can I get 1 or 2 more favorite traditions? It could be something small, something big, anything. Yes. And can you say your name also?
My name's, I'm Senator Cole Johnston. Guess one of the ones that I've only been able to go to it once, but Ram Rhythm, which I actually think was going on tonight. And it's causing a little bit of noise outside. But
Can you explain what that is? I've never heard of that.
it's through the Office of FSL, and it's where I think a fraternity or maybe several fraternities and a sorority are paired up. They have to learn like and choreograph a whole dance number, and then they compete in front of judges and stuff. And it's really fun.
Oh, that sounds, and that was happening today.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, I did not hear about that at all. Okay, that seems pretty cool. Can I get 1 more and then I'll move on?
I think that I need one. It's actually.
That is a good one. And then what was your name?
Senator Henry A. Mary.
Okay, and then are you representing a college or?
Yeah. Sorry, College of Business.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So those are all 3 very good traditions that we have CSU, whether they're like allowed on campus or not for anyone. But those are really good traditions. And like my entire job is just planning events and making sure we help maintain some of the traditions we have here on campus. And so I just wanted to reintroduce myself since I was ratified a couple months ago. And I wanted to get to know each and every one of you if that's a possibility, and also just talk about how cool our university is. I think through traditions and through history, we're able to really get to know each other, not only like here on the campus, but also just everyone who has been here for a while. We have really cool traditions happening on Friday. So we have the bonfire, the lighting of the A. We also have the annual like fireworks show that we have. We had a drone show last week. I don't know if that's a tradition or that's the first time event that's happened, but CSU is pretty cool. And I think through my position, I've really gained an appreciation for the university. And for my report real quick, I just wanted to kind of give an update on what we have coming up and things to look forward to. So one of the traditions that we have for football games is the ringing of the bell. And so if you know, the old main bell is something that we ring before and after every football game. Before games, it's an administrator who gets to ring it, and after the game, it's a CSU student who I get to choose, or our department gets to choose to ring the bell if we win. And so we got to bring that at the last, at the last game for Ag Day. That was a lot of fun. And so I just want to extend this kind of invitation to anyone here who wants to be signed up to ring the bell. And also just like if you know anyone who wants to be a part of that tradition, we can get them signed up for that. There's a lot of cool things happening on campus, especially on Friday for homecoming week. And I'd really love to see more senators, more ASCSU members coming out for these things. And if you're ever interested in coming out for the tailgate or for anything that Traditions has planned for the upcoming year, definitely just reach out to me. Once again, my name is Metal and I'm the director of traditions. And I'm always looking for people to just partner with for our events. Some really cool things we have in the springtime are the talent show. I'm thinking of, bringing together the campus through a talent show. Like, what better way to do that? I know, like in this room alone, we have a lot of different people who can play different instruments or who can just do really weird and fun things that would be really entertaining to watch. And then also a campus rail jam. And so if you don't know what that is, we're essentially going to bring a whole bunch of snow to campus, hopefully, and bring rails and pipes and a whole bunch of things for people to kind of jump off of and show off their snowboarding and skiing skills. And so if you're interested in like being a part of that committee to help plan that, please let me know. Like, I think a lot of these relationships that we build happen through events and through bonding over food and cool things that we're doing. And so if you're interested in any of that, please let me know. And I hope to like get to know each and every one of you over the semester. And yeah, just thank you for giving me the time and space to have this report, and yeah, have a good rest of your night.
Hello, everyone. I'll make my report really quick. My name is Alex Silverhart. I'm the vice president of ASCSU, and I use the he series of pronouns. I know last week or the week before, I forget, I had talked about volunteers for this Friday. That plan has been scrapped, but please go to Festival on the Oval. There's going to be a ton of fun stuff, including the School of Social Work, signing people up to vote, and that is extremely important. Something you can sign up for that is happening for sure is the fall cleanup. How many people have heard of fall cleanup so far? Oh yeah, Sammy, love it. Okay, cool. So I know a lot of fraternities and sororities sign up for this. Cool. I assume you sign up with your fraternity. Cool. So we're signing up as an organization, ASCSU. Probably half, if not 3/4 of cabinet has signed up, so there will be people there. But we want to open this up to Senate. We want to have a large group of people go and support surrounding communities. I think for the most part, we're raking up leads for older individuals, which is always fun, and they often have fun stories to tell, and sometimes goodies to give. So I just sent out the link in the Interbranch Slack channel. So if someone could check and make sure that works, that'd be great. Copying links on an iPhone is difficult, especially when they're coming from Outlook. Another important thing is I am hoping to drop a bill on the floor, probably not next week, but the week after, with Senator Melfire in order to gain some funding for pregnancy tests. Last year, this is something that the Department of Health did, myself and Kylie, in addition to Senator Ava McCall, brought a program to campus where we had free pregnancy tests at 4 different locations. Now it's expanded to a few more because offices heard about this and wanted pregnancy tests in those spaces. And so we want to expand this. And we want to have some funding at least up until December of next year. We also want to house it under Cruise. How many people know what Cruise is? Okay, cool. So Cruise is an organization on campus made up of students that educate other students about safe use of alcohol, substance abuse, and safe sex. And so they already hand out, I think, tens of thousands of condoms, lube, and dental dams every year. Pregnancy tests would practically fall right under this. So if you get an email from me or Kevin within the next week or two asking for a sponsorship or endorsement of a bill, it's probably the free pregnancy test bill. Another update, I feel like this wasn't done a lot in the last 2 years, but I think it's important to provide updates about SFRB. I know there's a few members, Claire, anyone else that's on SFRB? Yeah, Lauren, yes. There's a few members, but I always like to share if I'm here. This previous week, we had presentations from Campus Rec and Athletics. Based on their presentations, it sounds like athletics might be asking for a fee increase based on the projects they have with the soccer field and the softball field. To my knowledge, they haven't increased their fee for over a decade, if not longer. But they're interested in a student fee increase. There are still spots on the student fee review board. So if you would like to join the board, please ask me. The sooner you do it, the better, because you get involved in more of the presentations and learn more about what these 18 different fee areas are doing. I think we currently have 5 spots still open. So yeah, please reach out.
I think that is it for now. I do want to see more people in the office. I know we moved the table into a weirder spot and we're working things out. Technically, I'm the office manager as vice president. So if people have recommendations on how to make the space more welcoming, accommodating, please let me know. I know we're hoping to get a smaller coffee table with a few. Trying to have more free food and drink in the space more consistently without taking it out of like the student fee dollars. So if you have ideas, or if you just want to come into the space more, I would love to see y'all. I'm here most of the day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. My office is always open. Even if I'm not in there, there's stress toys, there's a Keurig. Please use my office, even if it's just a study. So thank you so much for the time, and I hope the Senate session is amazing.
Point of information, I think you're posting on the old Slack because there's not anything. Yeah.
Okay, I can post it to the newsletter. That's really good.
Hi, everyone. I'll only do the introduction just because I see some new faces, so welcome. I'm Nick DeSalvo, I'm the student body president here. So thanks for being here. Great to have you. Last week, we had the incredible guest speaker, Polly Baca, and although I know the time was short, I'm glad it happened. Just generally, there were some things that came up the day of to where it seemed as though Polly wasn't even going to be here. And so I stressed for about 4 hours, running wild, trying to figure out how to navigate that. But we made it happen, and she really, really enjoyed being in front of all of you, and she wants to come back. I know that many of you had questions that you would have liked to ask because, I mean, just what an incredible woman. And but she does have interest in coming back, hopefully sometime within the second semester or sooner. So I think that's a good segue into what I'm going to talk about next, which is the ASCSU alumni reunion. Polly is technically an alum of ASCSU, and so she's been invited to that alumni reunion. It's this Friday from 6 to 9 in Ballroom D of the LSC. And so if she's there, you'll have that opportunity to talk with her one-on-one and just ask about her experience. But I want to be able to share her with you a little bit more. And so we'll look into setting that up for the second semester. And then kind of just along the same lines of that, Thursday and Friday, I had a Board of Governors meeting here on campus, and that went really well. They're super impressed with some of the work that ASCSU is doing. And so I again wanted to extend another thank you for Senator appropriating 10K for the lobbyist. They're really, really impressed with that project, and just the breadth of what we can do with those services now will elevate ASCSU to a level that it hasn't been in recent years or maybe ever. And then I know many of you had expressed interest in, I guess, the lobbyist in general and the work that LSAB is doing. So I figured I'd provide you an update in that regard. One of the bills that we're really passionate about running is taking the tax off of textbooks. And so that's a project that is done in different states around the US. And so it's not necessarily uncharted territory. I think it's a win at the state legislature. And so initially those, some of the details are being polished a little bit, and there's some initial stakeholdering that's happening to kind of understand who would support the bill and who could potentially oppose the bill. But LSAB had a meeting on Tuesday with Representative Basenecker, who represents this area of Fort Collins, and he's very interested in taking up the bill. And so that's a big win, and it'll really elevate not only the concerns of students at CSU, but this is something that would impact young people statewide. And so taking our advocacy not only to the campus level, but the state level, I think is really important and what we should be doing. So again, thank you again for the 10K that was appropriated for that lobbyist. It's going to do a lot of great work. I think that's all I have for my report. Thank you, Senator.
Hey, Senate, I'm Michael. I'm the Director of Governmental Affairs. State and local policy is having a ton of events coming up. I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware of tomorrow night here in the LSC room 372. ASCSU is partnering with the Strayer Center. We're having a city council candidate forum. Every candidate for city council will be there. There'll be a Q&A at the end, so if you want to come ask a question of city council candidates, feel free to do that. Next Tuesday on the 17th, we're having a lunch with Kelly Olson here in the office. For those of you who don't know, Kelly Olson's on the city council. He's one of the biggest proponents of U+2. So if you want to come tell him your opinions about U+2 or any other issues, that'd be a great opportunity to talk to him on a personal level, get to know him. And then the big event we're throwing this semester, the community roundtable. You've been hearing me talk about it every week, but we're having over 23 elected officials from every level of government, from the mayor of Fort Collins to the Lerner County Commission to 5 state legislators. Even the state treasurer is going to be there. So if you're passionate about U+2, if you're passionate about higher education funding, about taking the sales tax off textbooks, there's no better way than to tell legislators directly to their face, this is an issue I care about, and this is an issue I want you to take up. Like Nick said, we had a great LSAT meeting the other day with Andrew Basenecker, and I just want to reiterate that anyone's welcome to attend those meetings and observe. We have a great guest speaking lineup, and I think Evan just passed out community roundtable RSVP, so we look forward to having you there. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. So everyone from the judicial branch, I'd like to report this time.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Binder. I'm the Deputy Chief Justice, filling in for Elena tonight. Just a few structural updates for the court. We had an Associate Justice resign. We have filled that spot already per our bylaws. We followed that process, so that individual will be getting ratified next week, hopefully alongside our elections manager. We have decided on a finalist and met with that individual today. So those two should be ratified next week. Keep a lookout for that. And I also just wanted to remind everyone, just a quick update on what the court does. So we do opinion hearings and internal complaint hearings. We not only look at the Constitution, but we also look at the CSU Student Code of Ethics and the Code of Conduct. So those are all documents that we deal with, not just the Constitution. Just wanted to remind everyone of that. I am here often. If anyone ever wants to chat, lovely seeing you all. Have a great night.
Next, we're going to move into legislative officer reports. I, as of right now, cannot remember what I was going to say, so I will pass it to any legislative officer, which is chairs or any person in legislative, or any legislative. Oh, chair. No, okay. Sorry. Legislative cabinet, which I guess includes elected officials. That's the difference. Anyone up here with this week? Claudia? So real quick, I just want to say one statement real quick. So we need to uphold decorum and professionalism at all times within this space. This includes tone as well. As a space, we want to ensure that we call in rather than call out. Our words have power and they cause good things, and they can also cause harm. But we have to hold ourselves accountable as well as others. And then aside from that, caucuses do not count as committees, so make sure you're going to committees rather than caucuses. I know that was a bit of a mix-up for some people when I sent out the email for those who did not go to committees, so just to clear that up. And then anyone who came in today after 6:30 p.m. was not counted for the DI attendance, because that's technically like the time that the Senate starts. So for anyone that came in late or was not able to attend the DEI training, there's going to be an alternative option where you can go to any SCPS event, and you just have to write a reflection about like which event you went to, and then what went on during that event and all of that. And then you can send that to speaker or alumni, and we will count that towards your attendance for DEI. And then if you're unsure whether or not your attendance counted, you can come up to me because I have a whole list of who's here and who's not. Thank you. Yeah, I remember, I was kind of gonna touch on that as well, the training. If you have not been added to the Slack, please, Claudia, please come up after Senate to help with Claudia. That's kind of where we have our main communications. And we will add you to the Slack as well as the weekly email. You can get all the agendas and fun stuff that we get every week. But if you aren't in the chat or the Slack, I sent out section 106, diversity and inclusion, from our Constitution, section C. That says there shall be mandated inclusivity trainings and conferences, which shall include sexual harassment training and diversity and inclusion training, as well as any other training Speaker of the Senate, Chief Justice, or President deem necessary for their branch. So me asking both Emily and Kyle to come in and do the diversity, equity, and inclusion training is a mandated inclusivity training. So if you weren't here and were sworn in, we will contact you on a way. Well, we already said it, like, please attend an SDPS event, share which one, and something you learned from it. It's either me or Speaker Pro Tempore Brazo, and we can work with you on that. If you weren't sworn in, come talk to us, or you weren't sworn in before the training, come talk to us and we can figure out what to do for y'all. Is there anyone else?
This is a totally different note, but I just want y'all to take a moment and admire the door. The front desk took about 7 hours on Saturday to do that. And if we win, we get an office pizza party. So if we do win, we'll be able to talk to you guys about that and give you more information on if we get the pizza party.
Parliamentarian.
So I was told to mention that Ram Events is holding the annual TED ASCSU conference on November 4th, 2023. And the theme will be endurance, and they will be examining how we endure in our personal and professional lives. Student tickets will be $5, with general public tickets being $15.
Thank you. Now, committee abstracts. Is there any chairs who wish to say something for this time? Chair Taylor.
Come to committee. I yelled.
Any other chair? Chair Nati.
Go to committee, nearly every committee has its legislative set filled up. And we really need to start having elder members in there. I love y'all, who come to my committee.
Any other chairs? Chair Austin.
Echoing the last two, please come to committee, but also good news. Budgetary now has a vice chair and a secretary. My vice chair is Sean Lacy, Senator Sean Lacy over there. Sorry if I said your name wrong. And my secretary is Danielle Salazar. Again, if you can't show up, just shoot me an email, please. I don't need a this list, just show up. Do something.
Any other chairs who wish to report at this time? Chair Tripp.
Hi y'all, really quickly, I want to talk about the training and recognizing that there's a lot of feelings around the training, and know that no matter how you feel on that, you are valid on that. I would also just like to remind folks that it doesn't matter whether it's a training, a meeting, regardless of size, we must be accessible for all members and our constituents alike. Skip over those. It's not just my job as Accessibility Caucus Chair or the SDC delegation's job to make sure the space is accessible, but making sure that it's all of our jobs and responsibilities. If folks, I know there have been some folks who have made comments about the accessibility guidelines, and I would encourage you, if you do not like the accessibility guidelines, to go to the SDC, and they will remind you that those requirements are complicit with state and federal law. Nothing too crazy to report in terms of the caucus. Door button pushing is going super well so far. So if folks are interested in helping out in that, please let me know. Additionally, we will be working on a letter to the editor to spread the word about the caucus and bring the topic of campus accessibility to more folks. We are still ironing out a date and information, and that will be sent out in the Slack for when those details are ironed out. Tentatively, it's next Thursday at around 8 p.m. I recognize it's super late, so folks want to add anything on that, please let me know. Additionally, next week I do want to hold space for tonight's events, as again, it was a very tense moment for many members. And I think it'd be good to use caucus time to debrief and hold space for those folks as well as educate folks who may not be aware about the harm that was caused for some folks. So please reach out if you have any questions or want to be involved.
Thank you. Any other chairs who wish to report? Do you want me to report on my caucus now or wait? Okay, cool. I will talk later then about it. Basically, we had the first women's caucus. It was super amazing. Thank you for everyone who showed up. So it was just to get started. I brought snacks and obviously I have coloring stuff. So it is a focus on healing, focus on creating community, and we already have some really good ideas coming. I started another Instagram. I will be sending that out in the Slack. And there will be a bill next week regarding the Women's Caucus that was written by Sammy. And we are in full support of it. And it's going to really help broaden what Women's Caucus can do and make more of an impact on CSU. So please show up. It's just a reminder, it's for everyone, not just people who identify as women. So, yay, thank you. Thank you. Is the last chair wanting to report? Any senators or associates who wish to go for it this time? We'll start with Senator Perk.
I'll grab that in a second. Oh, thank you. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. Sorry I was late. I had an event that ran long. Speaking of events, it's LGBTQ plus History Month. And as the Pride Senator, I'm here to give you kind of what's headed up in this week between this Senate and the next. Today we had a lot of cool events because it's National Coming Out Day, if you didn't know. So we celebrated coming into Pride today. We had a lot of tabling in the plaza. It was really cool. We had a big door. I spent a lot of time quoting sitcom quotes coming in and out of the door. Really great for me. But yeah, other things. We have on Thursday, we have a great speaker. It's a Latinx Borderland speaker. There's an event that runs from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. in the LSC Ballroom D. It's open to everyone. Also on Thursday, we have an Inclusive Excellence soccer game. So if you like soccer, come crush that. That's gonna be sick. That's happening at 3 p.m. on the CC soccer field. On Wednesday, October 18th, it's International Pronouns Day. So from 10 to 2 p.m. at the LSC Flea Market, we'll be tabling about stuff. And then also on Wednesday, we have our Legacy of Leaders celebrating 25 years of Pride panel, which is gonna be sick. So that's happening at 6 to 8 p.m. on that Wednesday. So that's also dope. That's events between now and our next Senate session. Also that TEDx thing, Endure, I'm gonna be in that. So I'd really like you guys to come so I can look at you and not be as nervous. Yeah, real. So yeah, really cool event. It's happening on the 4th of November. It's about enduring endurance. I'm gonna be talking about a lot of what it was like to endure one of the worst like depressive episodes of my life. So real. Please come. I yield the rest of my time. Thanks, gang. Yay. Chair Shrub.
Hi y'all. I can officially give some of the reports, which is super slight. They're usually super long, so I super apologize. All the information I give out here also will be put in the Slack because I talk a lot and there's a lot of information. So just for folks to be aware. For those who don't know, I work within the Office of Off-Campus Life as well as Redline. Chief of Staff Deeds and Vice President Silverheart spoke briefly about fall cleanup, and I would love to expand on that. Fall cleanup aims to assist elderly and or physically limited neighbors within the city of Fort Collins with outdoor yard work. This involves raking leaves, trimming bushes, cleaning gutters, etc. That they can't complete by themselves, nor can they afford to pay someone to do that. This program helps facilitate positive relations between long-term residents in Fort Collins and CSU students and staff, while also helping the neighbors maintain their properties and get their homes ready for the fall winter seasons. Now, I can neither confirm nor deny that goodies may or may not be distributed, but I do help administer fall cleanup, and I will be there all day on that. So you're in good hands, I can keep promise.
If you are interested, please sign up as an ASCSU volunteer, or if you want to sign up your own group, priority volunteer sign up forms are due Friday, October 13th, though applications can still be accepted after this date. Also a fun fact that I learned recently, you don't have to be a registered student or to sign up, which is super cool. So if you want to get a group of like 6 friends and do things, you are absolutely welcome to do that. Sign up forms can be found at the OCL website, which I will link when I submit this for the Slack. Please know that we do need a minimum of 6 volunteers, and team leaders will be required to take a training. So if you want to be a team leader, you have to do a training, which I'm also going to help administrate. Some of y'all are like, yay, and some of you are like, oh God, which is super fun. Additionally, I want to give a Ramride update. Unfortunately, we'll be not operating our fleet this semester. So we'll be operating by lift codes for the rest of the semester. And these codes can be found on the Ramride Instagram at ramride_CSU, as well as on the Ramride app. I will update you on Ramride news when I can. Finally, echoing Senator Perk, happy coming into Queerness Day, overall LGBTQ History Month. I hope folks celebrate today and know that whether you have been out for years or haven't come out yet, or wherever you are on that journey, know that you are valid and loved, no matter what. The Pride Resource Center is hosting a ton of events, as our incredible Pride delegation has already spoken on, so I'll leave them to discuss more, but happy History Month. That's all I have. I yield.
Next, we have Associate Kimber.
All right, y'all. So ALDS hosts a really fun tailgating event. It's the chili cook-off. The last day to sign up to RSVP if you want to participate is today. So if you make a good chili, please turn out, because I really like to eat really good chili. And okay, so chili drop-off is from 3:45 to 4 p.m. Judging will be from 4:15 to 4:30, and food available 4:45 until it's gone. So if you're out and about and tailgating, stop by. We would love to see your submissions. And I just would like to, I'm going to actually ask Chair Chow to share the self-reporting QR code, so that if you are out and about on campus and you do happen to notice accessibility buttons aren't working, if you would share that information, it would save us a step. Just because, you know, we cover collectively a lot more ground. And like, for example, I don't necessarily need door buttons as an individual, but I do use them. Sometimes my daughter's on campus and I bring her around in a stroller. And that was kind of when I became aware that accessibility helps everyone reach better points of access. So that's, I think, all I have for y'all.
Point of information. When you're talking chili, are we talking chili with beans or chili without beans? It's a very important question.
That is for you to decide how to handle chili in your submission. Does that mean you're going to submit?
Sadly, I cannot cook for the life of me.
Point of information, where is this event held?
This is the ALDS tailgate for homecoming. Oh, I don't know anything about tailgating. My football
Tailgate will be on the 14th. On the iron fields. So there'll be a lot of tables with, like, you'll see the little banner that'll have a name on it.
No football player, sorry. I eat chili though.
Thank you. Next week, Senator Frisky. All right, hi. It is Relationship Violence Awareness Month, so I'm just gonna give a quick little plug for some events that the WGSU is doing. So first of all, the 19th is Go Purple Day. So that means to please wear purple for relationship violence awareness. They also have purple ribbons in the office. And so come wear them all month long if you want. There's also the Unmasked series that night. Cards for Masculinity at 5 to 7 p.m. at the Irving Brown Brewery classroom in Ramskeller. I don't know much about that, but sounds amazing. And then the 24th is the Consensual Costumier. It's 3 to 6 p.m. at the LSC. And basically you can come help work on costumes and learn about consent with costumes and have fun. There's going to be supplies and, you know, to get spooky. And then the 26th is Barbie World Trivia and Costume Contest with Red Whistle Brigade at 6 p.m. at Ramskeller. Pizza and non-alcoholic beverages will be provided. There's prizes for first and second place. And then we're going to talk about trivia about growing consent culture and building healthy relationships. So come in a Barbie themed costumes and come get some swag, and it's going to be really fun. So yeah, and make sure you educate yourself on relationship violence, and keep yourself safe. Also, happy National Coming Out Day, everyone. I yield my time.
Thank you. Next we have Chairman Auntie. I wanted to say Senator, this is Senator reports, but Chair.
You do as you do. Yeah, so to echo many of my fellow SDPS officers, go to all those events. They're amazing. I'm going to be a little bit biased because I work at the Private Resource Center. I'll be tabling a good portion of the events there as well because I like signing up and I like helping people on their journey. So if you want to stop by, see a friendly face, get some cool free merch, such as the brand new golden posters we got. Yeah, stop on by. And also go to all of the WGAC's events as well. Yeah, no, because it's really important to know all this lovely information about interpersonal violence within relationships. I'm trying. But yeah, no, go to all the events. That's all I'm really saying.
Or events, and then because you didn't mention the tailgate.
ST, I did not even know about it.
BAC is also having a tailgate. We will have free food there, and we set up at 3:45. Please come if you would like. Next, we have Senator Davis.
This is to bounce off of Olivia's thing. For the Unmasked series and the Barbie trivia, both located in the Van Skiller. One of them's in a classroom. It's here in the LSC. If you go downstairs, like it's just in the basement. You'll see it. You'll know there's signs. But the classroom is like kind of to the side. If anything's confused.
Thank you. Next is Senator Bakari.
Hello all, sorry, not used to be calling Senator. So just to introduce ourselves, this is Abdu Tabib and Faraz Bakari. We're both senators for APAC. Just a couple updates on some events we had today. We had Try to Understand. We have these weekly. They're just, you come into our space and we do presentations on social issues, things people are worried about, and it's like an open conversation presentation. Yeah, open and honest conversations, like an open mic session. We highly recommend everyone comes to those on Wednesdays. Additionally, we have Story Circle. Story Circle is a monthly support space for you to discuss your identities and experiences within a predominantly white institution. It's every first Thursday, so it'll be tomorrow for this month. It'll be facilitated by Stephanie Z, who works at UC Health. They're an amazing resource. Additionally, we have APAC Spooky Movie Night. Come to APAC for a night of spookiness and join us for a movie chosen by a vote, because democracy. Snacks will be provided, and that'll be this Monday, October 16th, in LC 333 at 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Please come. We love more people in our space, and we have snacks. Take care. I yield.
Thank you. Next is Senator Winston. Apologies.
Okay, bear with me on a little bit of a spiel. Hi, my name is Ricky. I use the she, series of pronouns. So again, just reminding everyone that it is Blue Heritage Month as well. Also, happy National Coming Out Day to everybody. I just want to throw it out there. Okay, so just real quick, I just wanted to give, I remember last one was very kind of vague. I just wanted to give a quick spiel over what hoodoo is as well, and what hoodoo is in an attempt to kind of destigmatize and demonize African American spirituality. So what is hoodoo? Hoodoo is a medicinal and magical practice birthed from the African American experience to preserve our African spirituality and provide us with ways to survive the harshness of So basically, it is, at its core, it is about using our environment as well as our knowledge around what is word? Just as well as using our ancestral African knowledge to help us survive, recognizing that you know, during chattel slavery, we did not have access to medical care or doctors or most of the time, or even just like even just basic wound care. So a lot of our ancestors had to, like I said, use their knowledge to understand what plants, what animals, and even some abiotic environmental factors can help them not only survive but also thrive. And if you are of African descent, recognizing that that hoodoo and root work is so subtly ingrained in a lot of what we do. So if you've ever eaten black-eyed peas on New Year's, or if you've ever jumped the broom, or if you have ever, what is the third one? Or if you've ever, this is probably a bit more niche, but if you've ever like heard "don't sweep someone's feet," all three of those are based out of hoodoo and hoodoo practices. So yeah, that's it. That's all. I encourage everyone to also take time out of their day to actually like further research and just, like I said, just take some time to de-demonize and destigmatize our spiritual practices. Just because, just like back in the days of slavery, in a lot of places it is still they are making it illegal and or punishable to to practice hoodoo or any other African or African American based spirituality or religion. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Next we have Sarah Wilson.
So I just have a few things to say when it comes to the Student Disability Center and the Assistive Technology Resource Center. We are aware right now we are backed up for a few weeks, if not a few months still. This is simply because of a funding issue and staffing issue. However, if you can, for a lot of our professors, we have gotten them involved to be very accommodating towards our students. So if you are having issues getting in with the Student Disability Center, know that if you have a copy of that appointment set up with them, you get to pursue the accommodations that you need from that professor for a limited amount of time until you get to meet with your accommodation specialist. With the ATRC, you are able to access a lot of free resources until you are able to meet with your ATRC specialist. Furthermore, if you are wanting to help out with accessibility on campus, the Morgan Library is having an undergraduate student advisory board. And please join. There's 3 of us and we have so many spots open. It would be a great way to get your voice out there. If you want any changes with the library, you want new books, you want to talk about fan books, you want to talk about accessibility within the library, that would be great. Awesome. I yield my time.
Thank you. Is there any other senators associates who wish to speak at this time? Seeing none, we can move into confidence business. In the parliamentarian for 2 hours on the confidence box. And we'll actually start with old business because I'm going to motion to put the 53rd Legislative Cabinet bylaws onto the agenda today. I had it sent out in a weekly email, I don't know how many weeks ago. We just got really busy and caught up. So I had it resent out in a weekly email. And so we're going to hold a vote to add it back onto the agenda. Yes, Chair Trout.
Can I request that vote just be done by unanimous consent?
So, for all those who are new to voting, like Parker was kind of saying in our parliamentarian training, we have many forms of voting. When it comes to unanimous consent, it just means that if you have nothing strong, no strong opinions against it, that you are okay with it, and I'll ask for, do you have unanimous consent on this? And if you do have something that you would like to say, or like a reason why you wouldn't want it on the agenda, you can just go, I dissent, and we'll move into a different part of voting. Past that, if you have nothing very strongly or have a reason to want it on the agenda, I offer now to dissent to unanimous consent. Is there any dissent to this motion? Seeing none, we will have it added to the agenda. 5002, 5001, 5001. But since I'm the author of this, I will be relinquishing my chairship to my speaker pro tempore, and she will be conducting this while I stand over there and ask her questions.
I wish I could remember it. That's what I was trying to look for.
I'll go ahead and explain a little bit about legislative cabinet and why we have bylaws. So, legislative cabinet is a meeting, or I guess a cabinet of all elected officials in the Senate body. So that is chairs, first committees and caucuses. That is everyone, mostly you see with the blue placard here. So that includes me, Speaker Pro Tempore, parliamentarian, retention and recruitment officer, which isn't here today. That's me over there. She's on Zoom. She's in person. And oh, Judy. But it'll be all the elected officials at ASCSU or of the Senate chambers. We hold meetings every week to make sure that we make the agenda and get everything included on the agenda this week for upcoming weeks. So when it comes to legislation, anything you submit should be put on this agenda, and if it isn't, please contact one of us and we'll fix it. But with our legislative cabinet bylaws, there is specifics. So like Parker was going over in his training, for a bill to hit the floor, it can either be sponsored by a certain group or just have 6 senators or associates being sponsored or endorsed. Legislative cabinet is one of those groups that can endorse or sponsor a bill, and it automatically hits the floor after that. And that's what we need our bylaws, because we have votings and we have meeting times and kind of how we conduct meetings, just the same way we have this. Oh, we found them. Is there any questions anyone has for me on these bylaws? Kendra?
What are the big changes made to the bylaws compared to the last set? If you can recall.
That's a good question. I rewrote these like last year. I think I kept the majority of things. I know some changes where it was an open meeting, like in it is like an open meeting, but legislative cabinet meetings have historically been closed meetings unless invited or unless substituted. So I think I changed that to kind of reflect of like what we were doing for past meetings. Yeah, I probably couldn't tell you anything else of what I changed. I remember rewriting these on my flight back home. So let me answer this. I think I wrote that because at the time we lost both of our advisors, or our advisors were changing. So that's something I meant to change, I feel like. Past that, any other questions, or did that answer the question you had?
I think that answered the only question. I feel like I had a follow-up question and it just, she went bye-bye, so I yielded my time.
Are there any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into discussion and debate. We'll start with the first raised placard. Associate Camp.
For the bylaws, if there is no discussion, we can move to previous question. So I moved to previous question.
Do I hear a second? Okay, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions? Okay, so now we'll move into a period of chair term.
I'd like to approve these bylaws with unanimous consent.
Is there any dissent? Seeing none, these bylaws are approved.
Now we'll move into new business, which is the 53rd Senate job descriptions. So I'll have you explain.
Yeah, one thing I do need us to change in there is I forgot that I to add sponsored by legislative cabinet. My fault. I looked at it and I said, wow, it's just hitting the floor empty. Did you want to read the abstract? Doesn't you want to do?
This bill aims to rectify the errors made in the original job description bill.
So not too long ago, I expedited the 53rd Senate job descriptions, which includes your description. Ooh, wow. That was so dumb. Which includes your description. I'll take a breath. Your job descriptions, my job description, and most of the people sitting in this room, job descriptions. Sorry. Some major things I changed. There was a lot of formatting errors that I realized after the bill was printed and signed. There was also, bill number was wrong, because it was supposed to be like the 5303 or something up there like that. It was like 5307. Dates were wrong. It was like 2022, 2023. It is not 2022 anymore. And a pay was wrong. It was a little higher than what we have allocated in our budget, so I had to decrease it, and that is the main reason why it's hitting the floor again, because it is a budget and pay change. Does anyone have any questions?
Is it still included in job descriptions requirement to attend the fall retreat?
You know what? It probably is. Yeah, 100%. I did not change that portion of it. So yeah, there still is the, I think it is, does it say requirement or recommend? Okay. So yes, it's still there. I did not change it.
This is recommended. This is recommended.
Oh, yeah, that's hard.
Sorry, y'all.
Senator, please say, sorry if I said that wrong.
It's gonna be the person with the mouth.
It's hiding there. In terms of the quiz, the previous ones have
A quiz?
Yeah, it was like a quiz on the parliamentary. I don't know.
Point of information from that. Was this the bylaws that was written in the 51st Senate? Because I wrote that as when I was speaker and I put the quiz thing in. I don't know if that was edited out when that was disapproved.
Yes, so that is actually still on the website, with the quiz.
Point of information, I also had a heart attack when I first went that I have to take a quiz, so I get the feeling.
Yeah, so just wanted to clarify that a little bit, that we do not have to quiz.
When I read over these, I don't remember seeing a quiz. I never took
It's
one.
on the website now.
It's on the website?
Yes, it's like it's
Link to the website.
Yeah, you can keep that in.
I'll hand you the paper. I'll give you the test right now.
Point of information, there's I think our documents on the website are so far outdated as, I think that one of them is the 48 Senate document. So we have some housekeeping to do. Thank you.
We will get that updated on the website.
Thank you.
Of course.
Sorry for the scare. Senator Wilson.
Okay, real quick. Is the spring training still included, like the spring retreat?
Yes, that is still on there.
Okay. Is diversity training on there? Is sexual harassment training on there?
That is also included in our constitution. So it doesn't matter what I put in
Okay,
I could say you're abstaining for all trainings.
Okay, so I-
Override the consumption.
sounds great, cool. Furthermore, what's the like fund difference? Because you mentioned there was like a fund difference.
Yeah, so for the retention and recruitment officer job description, it has listed that they get paid $4,000 when we don't have that much money allocated to them, not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure Speaker Pro Tem Port is paid $4,200, somewhere around there. And yeah, as of right now, we do not have the money allocated in this retention and recruitment officer job description for that. I don't remember exactly what I edited it to. It might be 3,000 something. Like it wasn't too terribly lower, but it's significant enough to include.
Awesome, I yield my time.
Senator Kirk. Point of information, was the fall retreat required?
So the fall retreat is a requirement, but as what I kind of like to think about it is, unless you got sworn in last year, like you did not have any knowledge of the fall retreat, and if you had viable reason to not go and you told me about it or elected official about it, you were abstained.
Okay, cool. I yield the rest of my time.
We're not gonna come after you if you didn't go to the fall retreat. I think I can count on my hands how many people from legislative branch went on one hand. So we're not gonna come after anyone, I promise.
All right, Chair Kelly.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right. So now we'll move into discussion and debate.
Point,
No,
point of
no,
existence.
never mind. Yeah, never mind. Okay, so we'll just move into a voting. No.
Senate committee.
Oh, wait, sorry. My brain is not, okay. We'll send it to internal and budgetary and DEI.
That's crazy.
Alrighty. Thank you, y'all. Ending roll call. Chairman Monty.
Can I motion to have beginning roll call be used as ending roll call and anyone who arrives late just be added later? Second.
Let me explain. Thank you very much. So at the beginning, we did roll call. That's everyone who showed up and said, here, yeah, I'm here, great. So instead of us going through the entire process again of calling out all the names, we can just go like, alrighty, we're gonna use the beginning roll call and ending roll call. And a clause in Chairman Onti's motion is that if you came in late, if you missed roll call, you can come up to the clerk and be like, hey, I came in late. Can I get my name on it? Would you go? Yeah. And you mark up. So I'm gonna see, is there any dissent to that motion? If I ask that, you don't need to say second, just don't say dissent. Seeing none, will we use beginning roll call as ending roll call? Committee reports. Any committee reports? You had your abstracts.
Come to committee. I mean it. I really do mean it. Come to committee, even if you don't have to come to committee, come to committee. And also, now that we have something to talk about in DEI, we will be talking about it in DEI. So if you want changes on there, please let me know.
Any other chairs or caucuses that would like to report? Chair Drop.
I think you promised this really quickly, just to echo earlier, caucuses do not count as committee. So if you cannot make any of the committee hours, please reach out to leadership so that we can get you those hours and make sure that you are not missing anything. Because committees is really what makes our branch work. If nobody's there, then we just kind of sit. So go to committees, keep coming to accessibility caucus. I'm not going to complain about the attendance. It's been really cool, but I'm whatever. Anyway, that's all.
Chair Frisky.
I'm just gonna say, hey, can you please, if you have any of my coloring supplies, I would love those back, and come to Women's Caucus, because then you can come and color again. I'm all about healing your inner child. I yield my time. Alrighty, that's a bit of information. Who should we just, who should we talk to about joining the committee? So, if you, on the little TV out here, every so often, the committee times and where they meet and what day they meet. Commentary will pull up momentarily, will be on the screen. If you cannot make those committees, please just let me or Claudia know, and we will reach out to you and tell you what else you can do in substitute of those committees. Is that the same with caucus as well? So I'm gonna talk to Claudia about one thing, because I feel that if you can't make a committee, but you can make a caucus, that I will count that as a committee hour.
What? I know, this is an old one.
But
what's your new one?
That will, if you can't attend the committee, I
University?
think we can make a little exception that you can attend caucus and still get that committee hour. Do they meet here? They meet most of the time in the conference room behind you, or they can meet here sometimes if they're too big of a committee, which only happened last year. I have to say it was mine.
I haven't yet.
Past that. Oh. Sorry. Past that, we adjourn. Thanks for coming.
Huh? No, because it goes past 12 to
Join the Slack and see.
You just get that long of a committee. I dislike you so much, you have to stay the entire time.
I showed up around 6:15 or so. Is that good for attendance? Okay. Yeah.
The whole reason I became parliamentarian for comprehensive. And so my first day, I read through our entire constitution and bylaws and memorized them. Because I was like, oh, quiz.
I knew nothing about a quiz. I've never done a quiz in my life.
Huh?
Was I supposed to do a quiz last year?
No, I just thought it was. And so I was my first day, I memorized all of it because I was like, oh my god, quiz.
I was gonna be doing a presentation.
25th, okay.
I already have you marked down.
Yeah, I just want to confirm, because we're gonna have executive.
Yeah, because I had someone email me and it was like, so Rachel's wedding is coming in the 25th. I said, who told me about this and when? I just don't know. Yeah, exactly. Presentations for us.
Yeah, also last presentation kind of was a circular nowhere life story. I guess a lot of
that politician that came in.
yeah, a lot of people might be inspired by it, but
it was great.
She was cute.
On an informative note, I learned none. I'm also a STEM student, so it's not tangible.
I mean, same, but it made me feel.
I
I almost cried.
What did you go home with?
Huh?
Really?
Yeah. I was just sitting behind here, like
She
tearing up.
You were tearing up?
And Bobby Seale
Hit me
came
in
in
the feels.
and spoke, and that man just spoke in circles.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it, but he continued just to loop it back around.
Can I? Adjourned. The dopamine.
I don't know who engraved this. It's awesome. Ava, 20. No,
You have to stand it.
A lot.
I have a sander.
No?
Have a good night, everyone. Get home safely.
Yeah, I'm gonna say both of you.
Yeah, bylaws. I don't know about that committee doesn't cross caucus. Caucus doesn't have committee, that's bylaws.
Because they can still look over legislation, they just don't have any power to do it. But I still would like to encourage. Because committees, you have to go to that. I have to encourage
attendance and
What can I do? Is that what needs to happen? You want to see something like right forward, or do you guys want to?
I'm getting major. Sorry.
We don't know what happened.
Well, there's like not.
I think you feel very strongly about making attendance small. Committees or caucuses, I think that's the thing. I want to double check with Bonnie and make sure.
Yeah, okay.
And then I will.
Yeah, I know.
Presentation. Thanks. I was extremely nervous.
Why?
The entire time. I hate presentations. Also giving them.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I really thought it was gonna be like to a group of maybe 3 to 5 people before Senate when I made it. So I was like, oh, 3 to 5 people, easy. All of Senate.
You did great. And it covered everything that it needs to cover.
Yeah.
My thoughts on it.
Yeah. Okay. So then tell Claudia if you can't make it. Tell Claudia you can't make it. DEI, I'm assuming, is where you go. And then on Tuesday, tell Claudia you'll do an extra makeup committee next week. And you can show up.
Actually, it would be the same thing.
Oh, no, wait. Oh, yeah. Because of mine.